So I mentioned cracked egg stories are one of my favorite ways. I will encourage leaders to have a bad idea brainstorm. So 5 minutes, everyone in the meeting share your most unrealistic, ridiculous idea. And they're like, why would we do that? First things first, if you're only sharing realistic ideas, that's where all of your competition is hanging out. So is that really where we want to hang out? And often there is an idea in there where you're like, I know I think that sounded insane, but actually, right, there may be a nugget there. But all of that aside, more importantly, research suggests that when we start with a meeting with something like that, a bad idea brainstorm, the rest of the ideas that follow in the meeting are more creative, generative, innovative. Why? Because we've let the guard down. We've let it down early. We've made it okay to talk about things that seem almost out of reach or ridiculous. So that's one example. Another example I would often tell leaders is today more than ever, do things like micro disagreement drills. So one of the exercises I do with groups when I facilitate is we play red team, blue team. So we take an issue. So recently I did this with a pharmaceutical group. They are doing a new launch, right? A new launch of a new drug. And I said, okay, we're doing red team, blue team. Red team, you are advocating for the status quo. It doesn't matter whether you believe this or not. This is just the team that you're on. So what works in our launch? What has been successful? What do we want to not change? We don't want to stick to what we know. Again, you don't have to agree with it, but that's your team. Blue team is we need to shake things up, right? The market is changing. We need to shift everything, shift our strategy. And on purpose, we did an exercise where they had to advocate and disagree with each other, debate essentially this launch idea. And it's purposeful in its planning of not necessarily being aligned with your belief system. It forces some folks to think outside of their existing belief. But an exercise like that, what came out of that exercise was fascinating. It bubbled up some perspectives that they hadn't even thought of. But I don't know that they would have ever had that conversation if not for the safe space of the structure that an exercise like that created.